Hi, everyone. I'm just waiting a few minutes to have everyone come onto the stream. I'm not sure how many people are on the stream now, but we'll see. Okay. Okay, hope everyone is doing well today. Hope everyone is doing well today. It's around 8 o'clock today on a Thursday morning. I know it's Wednesday night in New York. And I also heard that there are huge storms in New York. And that sort of brings me back to what happened to me a few weeks ago when there was a giant storm in New York. Do you remember about a week and a half, there was severe flooding in Queens, in Manhattan, and the entire city seemed to have gone to a standstill. Well, on the night of that storm, I had to come from work in Manhattan back home to Queens. And that day it was horrendous because the traffic was at a standstill out in Queens. And also the trains, especially the Long Island Railroad, was suspended, was flooded. So from what I heard, I literally heard that the train tracks from Bayside all the way out to the end of the Port Washington line on the Long Island Railroad was totally flooded. So I had to find a way to get back home, and then from home get back to get to JFK Airport. That night was incredible. Once I heard all of the bad things that have happened on that night, I said to myself, okay, I'm coming out of here. I'm leaving work. I'm going to leave early. Told everyone at work, I got to get to the airport. Because in my mind, I was sure that even if there were problems with the flights going out from JFK, they wouldn't stop the flights that are going international. It wasn't as if we were having a hurricane that was sustained, because international airlines have problems repositioning planes if they don't get their flights out. So I assume that the first flights that would be canceled are all the domestic. Well, to make a long story short, I eventually found a way to get home on that day from Manhattan all the way out to Queens by taking an alternate route on the Long Island Railroad. And luckily, I was able to be picked up by one of my relatives. And I was extremely fortunate that day. So, yeah. Okay, I see that there are a couple of people who have joined. Feel free to put in some questions into the chat section. And so anyway, getting back to my story, I got back to my home. And funny thing is that even though I was able to get picked up, that traffic was horrible going back to where I live. And if you could imagine the traffic being backed up all the way to Northern Boulevard, things not moving much, maybe 5 miles per hour. It was just horrendous. I actually had to get out of the car and walk the rest of the way to get home. But luckily that night, after I got home, I was able to immediately get a Lyft car out to JFK. Now, coming out of where I lived was also horrendous. It took about half an hour for a Lyft car to get to where I live, and took another 45 minutes for the car to get out of the immediate neighborhood. So, but by the time we got to Cross Island Parkway, we were fine. It was smooth sailing out to JFK. And, I got to JFK 5 hours early for my flight out to Taiwan, to Taipei. I was taking a Taiwanese airline to go out to Bangkok, connecting in Taipei. And lo and behold, when I got to the airport, it was packed with people. And I don't think it was packed with people who were delayed. It was packed with people who were going out on these long international flights. But suffice it to say, it was a very surprising trip. Oh yes, one thing that I need to mention is that I took China Airlines to Taipei, and the funny thing is that they asked me 2 days in advance to put in to check in early. I did so, and when I got to the airport, I thought that I would just check in my bags and that would be it, because I already have my boarding pass. But for some reason, they put me on the line with the other 200 people. They said, no, there's no such thing as a baggage check line. So I was out of luck. So there was just layers and layers of frustration there. But, nowadays, expect anything. I mean, you're basically at the mercy of the airlines and what they do. So I got into the airplane. We took off on time, connected through Taipei, and got to Bangkok in good shape. And once I got to Bangkok, I flew on the same night to Hat Yai, Thailand. For those who follow the channel, I was in Hat Yai for a little while, for maybe 4 or 5 days. And I'll talk a little bit about Hat Yai. But before I do that, if you can see behind me, that's the Gulf of Thailand. And where I am right now is Koh Lanta. Now, Koh Lanta is an island that is in this area around the Gulf of Thailand, that's surrounded on the west side by Phuket, on the right side by Krabi, and in the middle by Phi Phi Island and Koh Phangan. So basically, these are all tourist areas, major tourist areas of Thailand. And if you know a little bit about Phuket, it's very crowded these days. Its infrastructure is very challenged. So I wanted to go somewhere that had very few people. And the solution was to come to Koh Lanta. Now, the low season in Thailand is between, let's say, late March or April through October of the year. They call it the rainy season. And true to form, it's been raining on and off ever since I've been here. But they're usually quick showers. They come in, they go right through, and everything is fine afterwards. And you can go lay in the sun, get some nice shade, get some cool breezes off the ocean right there. The waves are pretty strong during high tide. But so this particular island is south of Krabi. The province is called Krabi, but there are two major parts of Krabi Town and Ao Nang. Well, we're south of it on an island called Koh Lanta, and Koh Lanta is skinny and long, just like Manhattan. In fact, I think I heard that it's 14 miles long, so it's like a lima bean, nice and long. And we're on the west coast of the island, so we get really nice sunsets out here. This is my third night in Koh Lanta, and last night was the first night where I could actually see the sunset. So it was quite beautiful, I have to say. And there are so many benefits to coming to a place like this. If you go to Phuket, it's going to be crowded. You're going to have vendors all along the beach. People are going to trying to be selling you stuff, but it's really laid back here. Once you go on the beach, there's literally no one bothering you. There's nobody who's going to say, oh, let's buy these lottery tickets, let's do this and that. No one's selling you a massage, no one's selling you clothing, no one's selling you food. Basically, you have to go out and find it yourself. And you can usually by going onto the main road that's near the hotels. This entire strip, if you know, like Cancun, there's a long strip of hotels. It's very similar to that. You just go onto the main road, and then you can get all your food. You can get haircuts. You can get beach toys. You can get coffee. You can get smoothies. All of that stuff. All of the important stuff. So coming out here is definitely a good way to relax. I mean, yes, you're not totally disconnected. Okay. You're not totally disconnected. Oh, okay. Hi, S. Chen. I'm in Koh Lanta, Thailand. It's 8:12 here, 8:12 a.m. Okay. So anyhow, what was I saying? So basically, you can get all those things out here, your food and everything on the main roads. But you're not totally disconnected because almost all the resorts along this strip of land, and it's about 14 miles long. All of these hotels, bungalows, all types of living arrangements have Wi-Fi at various speeds. So, so for example, when I was in Hat Yai, Thailand, I was at a 4-star hotel which is apparently the best hotel in Hat Yai. Not one of the most popular cities, but it's a city nonetheless. The Wi-Fi was really slow. Whereas when I came here, the Wi-Fi here is nice and fast. So the place that I'm staying here at Koh Lanta is actually a hotel, but a hotel that is set up as 2-bedroom and 1-bedroom apartments. So as I mentioned before, this particular apartment is facing out to the Gulf of Thailand. And if you go straight behind me, that's probably PP Island. And then if you go beyond PP Island, that's Phuket, Thailand. So that's where they have the international airport and basically one of the original Thai tourist destinations. So yeah, so let's see how many people are on. Okay, I see that we have 4 people on. So thank you for joining me. And please feel free to put in the chat some questions for me about the Minute Review Show, about any of the things that I do in New York, any of the restaurants, and maybe, maybe we can talk a little bit about about my process in making videos. Oh, okay. I see Edward Moy on the in the chat. Hi, Edward. Good to see you. So, yes, I heard that there was major flooding, as you had mentioned, in Little Neck and Douglaston. That was exactly what it was a week and a half ago. Glad to have escaped that. Glad to be able to make it here, despite the flooding coming all the way from Manhattan. Yeah, that was totally stressful. So anyhow, so yeah, let's talk a little bit about the Minute Review Show. And just as a reminder, put in some of your comments in the chat or questions in the chat, and let me know what you would like to talk about. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about the process at the Minute Review Show. So basically, I started this channel 4 years ago. Actually, 5 years ago now. No, actually, 6 years ago now, in 2019. It was with the intention of making quick reviews, maybe 1 minute or 2 minutes or less, and quickly giving a rundown as to what the restaurants that I visit are like. I made a whole host of videos. You could probably look in my channel history and see all those old videos, they definitely weren't like they are now. They actually use this robotic voice. I was actually afraid to use my own voice in those videos, so I found a voice synthesizer, and as you can tell, those videos sounded really weird. But after making maybe about 20 videos, I sort of gave up. And in September of 2023, I decided to hop back onto the wagon and restart the channel and try something different. And this time I decided to actually show my face in these videos because, in essence, I don't think things could be communicated as well if I don't show my facial reactions, and also show the food up close and things like that. So I restarted in 2023, and basically, the channel has gone through an evolution since September of 2023 till now. Now we're in August of 2025, and what I've done is that I've taken the advice from you, my viewers, and made a few changes to the channel. And the format that you see today is what I'm going to be sticking with for the near future. And if you have any recommendations as to how I can change the format, you're certainly welcome to let me know. These videos are all made by myself, just one person, and it's edited. All the thumbnails are made by me. So basically, the show is unscripted. You could probably tell by the way that the show is edited. And basically, I say what I think immediately, right off the bat, what I experience. It's a very staccato way of doing this, but that's the only way that I know how to do this. If you watch some of my early videos, I actually tried reading off a script, and it wasn't good because I ended up squinting at the screen, pausing, hesitating. It just didn't feel natural. I felt as if I was just frozen. You know how people get stage fright, things like that. So I just stopped that. But in any case, those were my early videos, very, very poorly edited, to say the least. But now, when I make videos, I do it very intentionally because now I have a format, and now I also have a huge list of restaurants that I would like to visit. And the way that I do my research is that I look onto Google, I look onto YouTube, because there are a lot of people publishing shorts, YouTube shorts, and also long form videos that I can use to get ideas as to which restaurants I can visit. And I also use my own filter. And what that filter is that when I look at a restaurant, when I look at an establishment, I say to myself, what is special or what is interesting about this particular restaurant, this particular bubble tea shop, this particular dessert place, whatever it is. And I look at it, and if there's something outstanding about it, something interesting about it, I would just put it on my list. There has to be something special about it, even perhaps a special location, a type of food, maybe something historical about it. So I would put that on the list. So I don't know if you noticed, but in this particular week, on Friday, I usually publish on Fridays, I'm going to publish a video called Yuan Zai Bing Restaurant. Now, this particular restaurant opened at a spot in Manhattan's Chinatown back, I believe, 2 months ago, and they're a relatively new restaurant. Does anyone remember the restaurant, uh, the Shanghainese restaurant called Shanghai Heping on Mott Street? It's next to Shanghai Delight. So, anyhow, that used to be a Shanghainese restaurant with soup dumplings. Well, that spot has been taken on by Yuan Zai Bing. And I'm going to release a video this Saturday. And please be sure to watch, because that video is the first video that I've seen, full length video, of a Thai Chinese themed restaurant. Now, I think I'm guessing, but I'm guessing that a lot of my viewers are Southern Chinese, speak Cantonese, maybe Fujianese, or Thai Chinese, those languages in Southern China. And there are a lot of restaurants in New York that are openly Cantonese, openly Fujianese, and whatnot. But there's never been a restaurant that has openly advertised themselves as a Thai Chinese restaurant. And even though the entire menu is not Thai Chinese, but a majority is, their food is openly advertised as such. So I decided to go there. I'm number one, it's a new restaurant. Number two, it's something different. So I hope you guys spread the word and let everyone know that on Friday, the video will come out. I think Friday is the 15th, August 15th, if I'm not mistaken. And check out that video. You're going to find some interesting things. And if you see the thumbnail of that video, you're going to see that they serve 5-spice roast goose. Now, when was the last time that you've seen a Chinatown restaurant serve roast goose? That is super rare. Super rare. I mean, maybe I haven't been to a lot of restaurants in Manhattan, but I remember years and years ago, maybe 2 decades ago, there was a restaurant on Elizabeth Street in Chinatown that served roast goose, and it was expensive as heck. So, if you really want to experience like Chinese roast goose, you would go to Hong Kong, where it's a common roast meat. You can get it at any siu mei or roast meat shop in Hong Kong. But yeah, this is actually a place that sells it. It's not the cheapest thing, but they have it, and they have multiple ones hanging on the window. The restaurant is called Yuan Zai Bing. Check out that video. You're gonna be very surprised as to what they offer, and I guarantee you, I did some searching. There's very few Instagrams or YouTube shorts, or if any, on this restaurant. So check it out. Now, getting back to the process of making videos, I do have that list, and that list has Manhattan restaurants, majority Manhattan and Queens restaurants, obviously because Queens is where I live, and you really have to look at the restaurants and see what is special about it, or what's an interesting angle about the restaurant that you can talk about. Because I find that if you talk about the interesting angle about this particular restaurant, I might get comments from some of the viewers and tell me about other restaurants that have similar qualities. So these are places that I put on the list that are interesting to me. Now, some other things that I find interesting that I put on my list of restaurants are maybe restaurants that are located in other parts of Manhattan. I know that some of my viewers might live in the outer boroughs, might live in the Bronx, Staten Island, Queens, and Brooklyn. Sometimes they're in Manhattan and they might want to have some Asian food, Chinese food, stuff like that. So it's good to find restaurants that are not in Chinatown, but maybe a little more spread out in Manhattan. So sometimes I look for restaurants like that, and in the future I'll be doing a few more reviews for those restaurants that are not in the core of Chinatown, but a little bit of the periphery of Chinatown. Okay, so if you have any questions, please add them to the chat. I'm going to be on for a little bit, for a little more. Yeah, take advantage and please ask me any questions that you would like. Yeah, maybe I can ask you guys this to get the conversation started. Um, I know a lot of people like Asian food on my channel. So, what kind of Asian food do you like? Do you like Chinese food, Cantonese food, Sichuanese food, uh, Beijing type food, Shanghainese food? Yeah, what kind of foods do you like to eat? And yeah, what dishes would you like me to review in the future? Yeah, so maybe you can tell me, what you would be interested in. Um, I also for Asian food, also like to eat, other types of food, Asian foods like Japanese and Korean, um, Vietnamese, Southeast Asian food, Thai food. Um, I'm in Thailand. I'm in Thailand, so really like the food here. It's very interesting. Now that I mention it, that when you have Thai food. Oh, okay. Hi, Edward. Thanks for your question. Edward had asked me, "Are you a cook?" And the answer is no. I'm not a cook. I actually work. I have an office job, but the generation before me were all immigrants, and they're very typical of the people my age. So they worked in garment factories, and they also worked in restaurants. And my dad worked in a restaurant. So yeah, he worked in Chinese restaurants, and he also, yeah, my dad is a totally different story. Um, for those of you who lived in Staten Island, he worked at a restaurant called Lee's Hawaiian Islander. Now, the funny thing is that there still is a Lee's Hawaiian Islander out in New Jersey. I would love to visit one day. I think it's like a novelty tiki bar restaurant, and my dad worked there for a couple of years, and yeah, it paid the bills. It was a job for him, but he was an excellent Cantonese and Taishanese cook. Yeah, my background is Taishanese, Toisan, Hoisan, and he used to cook up these giant meals for our family on the weekends, on Saturdays, and our family would always get together and enjoy the food that he made. And my family was pretty big. We always offered to buy stuff to help him cook, but he was one of those chefs, one of those cooks. My father was one of those cooks who loved to tell everyone to get out of the kitchen. basically, yeah, he was quite a character, a very multifaceted person. But he would tell us to leave the kitchen because he said I can handle everything myself. Until the time he was in his 80s, he would do the same thing. Bless him. I mean, he really went all out for our family, and yeah, I mean, some of his dishes were great. Oh, I'm sorry about that. A little gust of wind took over. So yeah, he was really great. The okay, let me straighten this out. Okay. Now, some of the things that my dad made that were really good, and I would put this up against any restaurant type food. Some things he made were tasio, amazing tasio, like the traditional recipe with the bean curd and all that stuff. A little wine maybe. So yeah, he made great tasio. He made this great master stock for soy sauce chicken, Cantonese soy sauce chicken, co gai. That beats any co gai you would have in Chinatown, or it's equivalent to the best co gai in Chinatown. So yeah, he really made great stuff. He also made things like sweet and sour pork. He made all types of vegetables, stuffed mushrooms with shrimp. Yeah, I mean all the Cantonese fish, steamed fish dishes. Yeah, just too many to name. I can't remember. It's been a long time. My dad passed away about 8 years ago. As you can imagine, my family sorely misses him. I mean, he just like my mother was the glue of the family, and yeah, I think he taught us well. He wasn't by far the most perfect person, but I mean, we really valued him. And later in his life, you know how Chinese families are. They're not very outwardly expressive in telling you as their child how much they value you. But as it turned out, later in life, both my mother and my father did say to us how much they valued us and how much they loved us. So yeah, it was. I have to say it's. We sorely miss both of them, and yeah, all I can say is, for me to honor them, we would basically live how I think they would want us to live, and to basically pass down the values that they gave us. And I came from a very big family. There were five of us, so I'm the youngest. So yeah, it was really sad when I lost my father and my mother. But yeah, so I think a big legacy of my father, and it's also to a great extent my mother, because she cooked different things than my father. The biggest legacy is the food that they made us. My mother did great home cooked food. Things that I can immediately remember, things that we lived on when we grew up as children in Chinatown, were yokbang, which is like pork patties, steamed pork patties, salted fish, ham yu, salted fish pork patties, Chinese sausages, simple stir fries, some curry potatoes and chicken, like just stuff that you can feed a family of 7 in a pinch. Just one plate, one protein, one vegetable, and some rice. That's all we got. So, but that was enough to feed us, to make us go to school without being hungry. We were very poor, even though we lived in Chinatown. Chinatown was a very different place in the 70s and then in the 80s. So we were definitely in the working poor category. So yeah, things were very different. But tying all of that back to what I do today on this channel, yeah, it's given me a great appreciation of all forms of food, from the home cooked variety to things in the restaurant. So that's probably why you see the foods that I review on the channel. I focus a lot on siu mei, the roast pig, roast pork, stuff like that, because we had that when we were growing up, and I focus on stuff like that. I don't focus much on things like bubble tea shops, desserts, things like that, because to me, those kind of businesses that are opened all over New York City, they tend to be ephemeral. They don't last long. And there's not much to say about them because most of these bubble tea shops are pretty much the same, unfortunately. I mean, some are differentiated by the types of ingredients that they use. But 9 out of 10 of these places use powdered mixes and things like that. So they're not really worth talking about. I mean, yeah, no offense to the owners and the operators who run these businesses, but they're not worth talking too much about because, you know, I think the only way these businesses get attention is by making things Instagram friendly. They look fancy. They have different designs. They have bright colors. They have a million ingredients plopped on top of their items, on top of their desserts, on top of the bubble tea. So those kind of things don't interest me. It's more of the basic traditional Cantonese dishes that I mainly focus on. So yeah, for those who have just joined, I am doing releasing a review this Friday called Yuan Zai Bing, the first openly Thai Chinese Hoisan restaurant in New York. So check that video out. And yes, that is what I'm talking about. That it has that one uniqueness to it that I like, and it has simplicity. Not like all these fancy made for Instagram businesses. Yeah, those businesses. I've lived long enough. I'm in my late 50s, so I lived long enough to see so many fly-by-night places. So yeah, it sort of dampens my desire to make reviews that are focused on those kinds of businesses. And maybe one day I'll do it, but if I do it, it'll be in a short. It won't be a full-blown review. I like doing reviews that are 15 to 30 minutes long because you can get some insight as to the dishes that I order. I know that some people think my reviews are a bit long. I apologize for that, but I don't think too much detail is a bad thing. But I know I could shorten things a little bit, but you know. Okay, so let's look at some of the other questions. Okay, Edward, thanks for all the questions. I'll answer all those questions for you, Edward. I appreciate your participation. And for everyone else, add some more questions if you would like to the chat. Okay, so the next question is, what type of work do I do? Okay, so, you know, for many people, that's a private thing. It's a private thing for me too. But yeah, I'll give you a general answer. I work in the finance industry, but I'm not. By no means, I am not a person who is a rainmaker in that kind of business. So I'm just an operational person. So yeah, basically, I'm a humble person, like most of the people who probably watch this channel. So yeah, that's what I do. I work in Manhattan, as I had mentioned before earlier in the video, in the stream. And yeah, it takes me some time to get to work every day from Queens. And yeah, I've been working in this business since the mid 1990s. I started working in the early 90s, but actually I've worked at a nonprofit, which was my first job right out of college, and then I worked in retail for another year right after that nonprofit job. So yeah, it was a roundabout way to get into the finance industry. But yeah, I've been working in the industry, the finance industry, on and off. A little bit more general detail, is that in 94, I started working in the finance industry, and had a couple of jobs after that. And then in 2001, 9/11 happened, and I lost my job about 6 months after 9/11. And then I was out in the weeds for about 2.5 years, and I slowly got myself back into the financial industry and doing various jobs. And here I am. I'm still working in the industry in a different capacity. So, yeah, I've done quite a few jobs in my day, and the benefit of going to so many different jobs is that you get to meet many different kinds of people. You get to put yourself in many different kinds of environment, and also you get to try many different kinds of foods all over the Manhattan. So that's a good a good side benefit to having so many jobs in so many years. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Okay, the next question from Edward is, I think you are awesome to share your Taiwanese heritage upbringing. You bring me back lots of memories of old Chinatown in New York City. Yes, Edward. Yeah, I definitely did grow up in Chinatown. And yeah, we were in a cramped apartment like a lot of Chinese immigrants during that era. And Edward, I'm not sure if you are Taiwanese also, but a lot of my friends were Taiwanese. A lot of them were Cantonese, and but to me, the default language in Chinatown at that time was Cantonese, and I think it was because at the time Hong Kong was more developed, or it was seen more as the urban language or the more cosmopolitan language. So a lot of people who spoke Taiwanese chose to speak Cantonese in a in the on the outside of their houses. So my family was the same. My mother and my father spoke Cantonese when they were outside. But yeah, you could definitely say that I'm definitely proud of my Taiwanese heritage, and I use it. And since my mom and my dad are no longer here, sometimes I would use it to joke around with my brothers and sisters. And for those of you who know Taiwanese or even Cantonese, but Taiwanese in particular, Taiwanese and Cantonese, it's a very colorful language. The words, especially the curse words, let's not soften that up, but especially those kinds of words are very funny. And if you dig those words up and say it to people who understand the language, who haven't heard it in years, it's really funny. And I don't know, I'm the kind of person who likes to dig those words up, if you know what I mean, just for a few laughs. So yes, those are I definitely I'm proud of being Taiwanese. I'm definitely proud of the history that my people have had in the United States, especially when I visited the West. They have a long, deep history out in the West Coast of the United States, and I actually saw some of that history in some mining towns near Yosemite. So it's very interesting. So let's get on to the next question. Okay. Now, Edward and S. Chen mentioned about kanji. Now, the channel is almost 2 years old since I restarted, and kanji is something that I really enjoy. And unfortunately, I've only done one kanji review. So that kanji review was at a restaurant called Great New York Noodle Town. Great New York Noodle Town is in the heart of Chinatown, right at the corner of Bayard and Bowery. And that particular restaurant has been around for ages. known for good kanji. Now, the reason why I don't do more kanji videos is because, dare I say, it might not be very interesting to the viewers. It doesn't video well because usually the ingredients are submerged inside the kanji. So when you do a look at it, there's not much. And then when you dig up the ingredients, usually those ingredients are like sliced fish, offal, which are like intestines, fish balls, beef balls, you know, dried squid or squid. So those kinds of things don't really present well in a video. It may taste good, but there's not much to say about those ingredients because they're not being stir fried. They're not being, basically the seasonings are not being added to those proteins like in the stir fry, because in the stir fry you can more objectively comment about the flavor. So yeah, it's not a very interesting thing to me. I might do some more kanji videos in the future, but yeah, as of now, my only kanji review is on Great New York Noodle Town. So yeah, that might be it for now. Okay. Okay. Okay, S. Chen commented, why was my comment removed about the pineapple crusted roast pork bun? Okay, I don't recall why the comment was removed. In fact, I don't even recall what the comment was. So, yeah, I don't know. So I don't know. Maybe there was something in there that I didn't like, but who knows? Who knows why? But in any case, sometimes comments are removed for one reason or another. Anybody who streams, anyone who puts up videos on YouTube would do the same thing. They have editorial control of their content on this platform, and yeah, I have to say that every YouTuber that I know, that I've communicated with, and I do know some, they have to moderate their comments one way or another. So there it is. Okay, so let's see what the other what other stuff is. Okay. Now, to follow up on your comment about Mei Lai Hua, yes, Mei Lai Hua has recently moved from their Bayard Street location all the way out to Mott Street in Manhattan's Chinatown. And the funny thing is that when I peeked into the new location, it didn't look a lot much bigger than the old location. It's just a long railroad type of store. But that restaurant, that baked goods restaurant, they're going to get business no matter what, no matter how their food tastes. Now, speaking to their pineapple crusted chasiu bao or pineapple crusted roast pork bun, I would have to say that I've had it before. I had it a couple of times before. I wouldn't say all the time because of the length of their line. That's another story. I'll talk about lines later. But I found that the meat that they use actually is a little too fatty. They do have pork in there, but it's a little too fatty. And the gravy that's put into that meat is a little too dark and thick. So, I've always been looking for chasiu bao, like the old hap shing in Chatham Square. The gravy was nice, more liquidy. There were onions in that chasiu bao. So, there's nothing wrong with the Mei Lai Hua chasiu bao with the pineapple crust. But to me, it's just a little too thick of a gravy and a little too fatty. So it's not really to my taste. Now, getting to the topic of Mei Lai Hua and their lines, it's that's something that I absolutely refuse. If a restaurant is talked about too much online, and I know why people on YouTube, like creators on YouTube, why they do that, because they know they're going to get thousands of views. If you look at my channel, most of my reviews are maybe 2,000 views, 3,000 views. That's it, you know, and I accept that because I go to places that other reviewers won't go to because I'm not chasing views, and I'll be I'll be very honest about that. I'm not chasing views. I go to places that a lot of other reviewers don't go to, or if they do go to the places, they would only do a short that's 30 seconds long. So when I go to places, I go there and I focus on the food. So getting back to what I was saying, those long lines are all created by social media, and I rarely go to those places. And Mei Lai Hua is one of those places. So I refuse to get on lines just for the principle of it, because how can things be so good, all right, that you would need to wait half an hour to get your item? I mean, especially in a place like Chinatown, where there are literally dozens of other businesses selling the same thing that aren't talked about. And in the future, I'm going to be going to some of these places in Chinatown and also in Queens and other places in New York City, and shine some light on these places. I know that my reviews are not going to create giant lines to these places, but at least it'll give people a better idea as to your alternatives. I mean, especially if you're a visitor coming from another state, from another country, and you're coming into New York City, you're looking at these lines and you only have a limited amount of time in New York City. Why would you want to waste your time standing waiting for pizza at Siri's, Siri's Pizza near Chinatown for 3 hours? That's 3 hours of your vacation gone, poof, in a flash, gone forever. You can't buy your time back in New York. So there's no reason to go to these places, because there are literally dozens of other places in New York City that sell the same thing, if not better. So Mei Lai Hua, I have the utmost respect for their business. They knew how to market it well. They knew how to get it on Instagram, on social media, places like that. But for a local like myself, probably not. It's not worth it, because I know other places that I can go to. So these are places that I would hardly review on this channel. So I know it will be to my detriment, because I'm not going to get 10,000 views for any of my videos if I go to lesser known places. But but I'm not like that. I don't like going to places that require a line and that have too much visibility. What's the point? Everybody else is talking about it. Why should I add my voice to that? Okay, so let's take a look. Oh, okay. S. Chen said that he didn't need to stand online. There was a kiosk on the outside. Yes, that's true. You know what? You bring up a good point. I don't remember if Mei Lai Hua had a kiosk at their new location. I just did a quick peek in and peek out, and I didn't stare and look around to see if there was a kiosk. But that might be a solution. But if everyone was doing that, wouldn't there be a line for electronic pickups? Who knows? But that's. But anyway, lines are something that I dislike. So anyhow, are there other places that in Chinatown that maybe I should visit that's lesser known? Just write it down in the comments. By the way, this stream has been going on for about an hour, so we'll just go on for another 5 minutes, and yeah, we'll wrap things up pretty soon. So if you have any questions, I see that there are a few viewers. There's 5 more minutes to this stream, so yeah, throw in your questions, and I'll be very happy to answer the question. S. Chen, I see you asked a question about Hua Feng. That's another one that really digs into me. Okay. That's another review that you'll never see me review. Because I won't stand on that Hua Feng line. And that Hua Feng line, in the past, from my experience, it could be different now. That line doesn't start growing until maybe after 10:30ish on weekdays. I've been there on weekdays and weekends. So if you want a short line at Hua Feng, you really need to be there when it opens, because throughout the day, that line, it ebbs and flows. It gets bigger and smaller every time. So you never know. It's a hit or miss. But as to the quality of their food, I have to say, now I'll bring up my dad to this, because when he was alive, and this was 8 years ago, I gave him some of the Hua Feng food. He said it was good. He didn't say it was great. He said it was good. Now, my reaction to Hua Feng is that Hua Feng is good on its own. It's eaten with rice. It's the type of roast pork that has a sauce with it. But this type of roast pork is to your taste. Hua Feng roast pork relies on that sweet soy sauce that they steep the tasiu in. So, a lot of the traditional tasiu places that I've seen in New York Chinatown in the past just had the tasiu, the roast pork, hang on a hook in their butcher shop, and it wasn't sitting inside a pan of soy sauce. Hua Feng's roast pork is inside a pan of sweet soy sauce, and that soy sauce is also drizzled over the rice. Now, some people like that style because it accentuates the sweetness of the roast pork. Roast pork quality is fine, but I've always found that it's been very squishy. It has a little more fat than normal. So that's the quality that I found. And also the Hua Feng, to me, and this is just my taste, it's a little too sweet. So it's not really for me. I like the more traditional tasiu that is hung up on the hooks, chopped to order. You can choose whether you want the lean stuff, the half lean, half fat, or the totally lean tasiu. So totally lean roast pork. Those are the kinds of tasiu that I like. Also, I tried their roast duck, the Hua Feng roast duck. I tried the Hua Feng roast pig. There's nothing special about it. Once again, it's from what I remember about the roast pig, the skin is not big and puffy and crispy. It's just very thin, and I don't know. It didn't impress me. The roast duck is also sitting inside this pan with some juices, and so the skin is not crispy. So yeah, I mean, Hua Feng is ordinary. What's made them famous is the size of the portions, the portion size, and also the portion size, and also the the flavor of the food, which some people like. So yeah. I mean, it's good, but I wouldn't say it's the best. I wouldn't say it's the greatest. People love the price, and but you know what? You can get good tasiu rice or two roast meats rice in Chinatown at a lot of places for $9 and below, $11 and below. So you can get 3 choices for $12 and below. Just check out some of my other videos and you'll see it. So and those places you don't need to stand on the line. People like standing on lines because they do it for this reason, to show it on social media. I've been there. I've tried it. No, that's not the way to go. The way to go is, to me, the way to go is to check out channels like mine or do your research on Google. Look at those restaurants that are on Google Maps, and you'll find some places. You know, take every review you see on social media with a grain of salt. If you see only one review for one particular restaurant, it's either a promoted video or it's someone like me who likes going to obscure places. So, yeah, definitely choose your time wisely before you get on any of these lines. But because to me, it's not worth it. Okay. We have some more questions. Okay, Edward had mentioned about congestion pricing, and yes, that is very true. I think the $9 fee is bumped down to a lower level if you go before a certain hour. I think maybe 9 a.m. I'm not sure, but check that out. And Edward has also mentioned that it's getting difficult to run a restaurant in Chinatown. And yeah, that is super true. And the saving grace for restaurant, and I think there was a New York Magazine review or an article about restaurants in Chinatown many years ago about how many of these restaurants are actually, they actually own the building that they operate from, which is why they can keep the prices low. And we have to keep supporting those restaurants that are operated by these family-owned businesses, because once those go, it's gone. They won't exist anymore. So yeah, keep supporting those kind of restaurants. And those are the kind of restaurants that have been around for 20, 30, 40 years. Maybe one of those restaurants is Joe's Ginger, right? They've been around for that long. So presumably they're probably owned by the people who run the restaurant. And yeah, there's just a whole host of restaurants. Maybe Noodle Town is owned by the family that runs that restaurant. So anyway, that's what I can say about the rent and the costs. You know, more power to them for keeping the prices low. So let's see if we have any more restaurants. And thank you for now an hour is up, and thank you for joining the stream. I really appreciate everyone for joining me in Thailand. I'm going to be back in New York pretty soon making more videos, and keep your eye out on August 15th's review of Yuan Zai Bing, which is a Toisanese restaurant. First review in New York of a Toisanese restaurant. That's a full-length review. So thank you so much, and I appreciate each and every one of you.